and setting up for custom streaming. It should be going. Okay. Oh, what happened here? There it is. All right, super. Hello, hello, hello. I am Darrell, and I am here with my good friend Darlene Williams, and I am so happy uh, to have Darlene on here today with me. Actually, we've known each other, I guess, about 2 years now, right? That we've met online, Darlene, and I like to say that it's one of the blessings of the pandemic was that more of us got to access people online. And in the past I used online mostly for shopping or gathering information, and now I have made friends all across the country and Canada, and even a few friends across the pond as well. So it's super exciting. And Darlene is here, and she's going to share some financial wisdom with us today. So I'm, super excited. So tell us, Darlene, where are you from again?
Well, thank you, Darlene. I am actually from the Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas area.
Super, super. And how did you end up getting started in the financial realm of things?
I always had a knack for numbers. I think I inherited it from my father. He could
Nice.
add up numbers, and he knew if you cheated him out of a penny when he went to the grocery store, you knew about it. Add up things in his head. He had a very limited education, probably second, third grade, maybe. And but he was great with numbers. And I think I just transferred it to me.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is great to know.
How I initially got started. And when I went off to college, my major is in finance. And so I've just always had an epiphany for numbers. And one thing that happened many years ago now, I owed on my income taxes. And I'm like, I know there's a way where I don't have to owe. So I figured out a way if I started a business, I now would have more tax deductions where I wouldn't have to owe unless I had a whole lot more income than I had at that time. So
Wow, that is fantastic. And it's really important lessons for people to learn, because a lot of people don't learn about that until we, like you, get into that boat, into that situation, and then we have to try to figure it out. So I know you've got some great tips for us, and I just want to put a little disclaimer out there for everybody who's listening that this is, just information coming from Darlene. She's trying to, impart some of her wisdom on you. And you really should, also confer with your own financial advisor or contact Darlene directly if you want, specifics on your own finances, right? But I know, Darlene, that uh, people sometimes get confused with how many allowances, how many people they should allow on their W-4. Can you help us understand, like, how many deductions should we take?
I say as many, they're up to 475 deductions, but those are basically for business owners and self-employed. Many people, though, on their W-4 form is the form that we fill out when we tell our employers how much money to take out of our taxes. Well, that form doesn't come with any instructions, and most people fill it out incorrectly. Because according to the IRS, 80% of employees, that's 8 out of every 10, have that form filled out wrong and overpay on their taxes.
Wow.
That's over 100 million people in this country that have that form filled out incorrectly. So the IRS has a tax estimator, withholding estimator on their website. They usually pull it down about this time of the year because most people wouldn't see a huge change in their return at the end of the year, and they put it up after they changed put all the new numbers in and everything at the beginning of the year. Last year they were a little late putting it up, but usually they have it up by the end of January, 1st of February on average. And we just empower people. It takes about 15 minutes to go through the form. And we empower people to go through that form And that way you'll have pretty much the exact number that you should put on your W-4 form to give to your employers.
Wow, okay. And so they can find that form through you? Is that something that you offer, a service that you offer?
That is one of the services that I do offer, and they can always go to irs.gov and find that form as well.
Okay, cool. And then, when do we need to update our number of allowances on that W-4 form?
Actually, they're not considered allowances anymore. There's a formula that the IRS figures out. And I believe it was when President Trump was in office when they rearranged all of the tax codes and everything. They changed it now where it's not your allowances, but they take in factors such as your dependents, if how many jobs you have, whether you're married, single. So they go through several questions that tax estimator asks you, and then that formula fills out, and everything's done online, and it tells you what number to put on line 5 of your tax form.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then do you recommend or how do you recommend that people figure out like sometimes you can have additional taxes withheld, like an additional amount. Like what do you recommend people do in as far as that goes?
My recommendation would be for people to have a business, and that way they have more tax deductions that they have access to, and they 9 times out of 10 they won't need to have additional taxes taken out, because according to some tax professionals, if you don't own a business, it's like throwing $1 out of the window for every mile that a person drives. So if you're driving a mile, throw $1 out that window unless you have a business. Because
Wow.
actually the government pays for you to have a business. Even when President Carter, President Clinton, I think it was, when he went out of office, he said that every person in America should own a home-based business.
Wow, that's very, very exciting. So, how should a business owner best plan to maximize their business deductions? So we're kind of at the end of this year, but if we want to think forward so that 2024 maybe looks different for us, what are the kinds of things that as a home business owner, we should really think about and take into consideration?
All the things that you're basically doing right now, if you're not a business owner, many of the things we do, most of us have cell phones, we have internet access, we have vehicles that we drive or own. We have, like I said, telephones, we travel if it's no more than for family reunions or sometimes vacations and whatnot, or I call them paycations now.
Yes.
So many of the things we're already doing, so people don't have to learn a lot of new ventures. They can already take what's now non-tax deductible and make those expenses tax deductible just by writing off their lifestyle and
Wow.
making a few simple tweaks.
That's great. That is fantastic. Now, I know it's really important to have a clear and concise record keeping system, right? So, do you have a system or some strategies that you can recommend to people?
Yes, my company that I have access to, we have a software system called a cash flow manager, and it tracks, organizes, and manages all of your expenses as well as your income. So we help you to improve your cash flow, number one, because most people, especially a lot of business owners, lose thousands of deductions that they could take because they don't keep good records. And that's one of the 3 things the IRS require. They require you to work your business with the intent to make a profit. They require you to work it on a regular and a consistent basis. And that could be as little as 3 to 5 hours a week during your day, and then keep good records. And so you can audit proof your business. In the event that you are audited, we'd like to have you audit proof your business so that you can come away with flying colors.
That's great. And I've heard, and you can probably, talk more to this, as long as you have good records, there's no need, and you obviously are on the up and up and being honest with your records, that there's no need to really be concerned should you get an IRS audit. Is that true?
That is true.
Oh,
That's what we would recommend. And you can always go back in. So if you didn't keep good records, you have time now to go back and recreate those records and put them in some type of a tax organizer, cash flow manager, somewhere to record your records up until the time of an audit. Once you get an audit, if you go back and recreate those records, that's considered fraud.
oh, that's really good to know. So as long as you do it prior to be um, receiving that notice that you're going to be audited, you're good. So do it now, right? Go back for 2023 and get everything in order before you file for your taxes, right? Okay, great.
Right.
That's a really good tip there.
Right. We have a saying, you can't expect what you don't inspect. So
Okay, I like that.
inspect your finances and keep them in order. And it doesn't take much time, 3 to 5 minutes a day to keep
Wow.
track of expenses and put them in your organizer.
That's great. That is super. And is it pretty user friendly to set that up?
It's very user friendly.
Okay, good. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this for sure. Now, I know something else that's really important for people is building credit, because we as a nation here, I think many people find themselves in credit card trouble and want to build good credit, because you need good solid credit if you want to really have that credit available for a business and stuff. But what are some initial steps people can take to start building their credit if they're just starting out? Say that they don't really have any credit cards yet. Like, what can they do initially to start building solid good credit?
One of the first things is to know where you're at initially. If you have pulled your credit reports, and the government will allow you to pull your credit report at annualcreditreport.com, and you can pull it now. I think they've gone back to once a year. During the pandemic, you could pull it like once a month.
Oh, wow.
They changed it back to my understanding. And once you pull your credit report, I would suggest or recommend that a person gets at least know their numbers. Credit Karma will give you a good idea if you didn't want to spend any extra money, but there are several companies that do provide those numbers that so you can track your numbers and know where you're at. And the big three are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. So we want to have our numbers so we know where we are and where we want to go. And we find out that most people who have a 750 or above credit score, they can now purchase pretty much anything they want without the higher interest rates, and they must have a carte blanche.
Nice.
Access to the items. So don't be like me. I sat on the sidelines watching everyone else with our do-it-yourself credit repair system. I sat on the sidelines watching everybody else repair their credit, thinking, oh, that can't happen to me. I'm not going to have those results. And I had a 585 credit score. Wow. And when I decided that at least give it a try, I raised my score from 585 to 763.
Nice. Wow. And that's through this program that you help people with, right?
Correct.
That's really cool.
That's one of the aspects. So we have 5 different aspects that we help people. First of all, correcting that W-4. We typically see people put between $200 to $1,000 or more back in their paychecks, which gives them more money now that we can use to pay off debt. We can use it to enhance our lifestyle, or we can use that money to invest. So we have choices. to do with the extra money. And many people are suffering today and don't have that extra money directly because they don't know if they have a business, they can correct that W-4 and put that extra cash flow back in their pockets.
Wow, that's great. That is super information. So, um, how do you recommend people use credit to actually raise their credit score? Is there a way to do that?
There are a number of ways to do that. One of the awesome ways is if you know someone who has a good score and a credit card or a debit card, not a debit card, but a credit card or something, have that person put you on their card. And when they put you on their card, now you have basically all their good credit history comes over to you. So that's one of the ways. There are different places. Some of the places I went to was a place called Self Lender, where you get 500. They purchase a CD. $500 is what I did. A CD, and you pay on it monthly payments until you pay it off, just like making a credit card payment every month. It was a small fee to get it started, like $9 or something, and then I paid on it every month. And they also have an aspect now where you can even get a credit card. So say once you get, I think 250 or 300 paid into it, then they'll give you a credit card for that amount.
That's great. So you kind of start small with your credit and you use it and pay it monthly, and then it will continue to build up, right? And that's how people can build if they have no credit and they want to just build up. That's really great. Super.
I have a friend who went to get a car, and his credit score was so low because he didn't have any credit. So no credit is worse than bad credit.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You have to prove that you can be responsible with credit, right? In order to actually get it. So yeah, I know. My daughter started that way with a small card like that, and she used it always for her gas, and then she made sure she, paid it every month, and that's how she started building her credit, and now she's got a great credit score. She does really, really well. So it's exciting when you can see your children, grasping these concepts.
Right. And one of the great things that many parents don't know is that you can put a child on, some of them don't have any age limit. So you can put a child on at, I would say 12, 13 years of age. You can put them on your credit card, and then they'll have your credit history. So when they turn 18, 21 and want to go branch off on their own, now they'll have a great credit score to get started in life. So you give them an upper hand to get started.
That's super. I have never heard that tip before. Boy, Darlene, you are full of information. And wow, I learned a lot from this. And I hope all of our listeners have learned a lot. And what is the best way for people to get in contact with you and find out like all of these great services? Because I know I'm going to be contacting you and I know how to reach you. But so for people listening, how can they, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, Darlene? And we'll make sure it goes in the comments so everybody can reach out and find you.
Put it in the chat.
Yep, put it in. Yeah, well, you can put it. I'll put, because we're on. Yeah, well, you can put it. I'll put, because I'm on Facebook in a couple of places, so I'll go back and make sure it goes in the comments because I don't have anybody here on chat with us. But
Okay.
Is it just your email? Is that the best way?
I have actually a My Share page, which
okay,
can get in contact with me, or they can go look at the different areas that I share for credit repair and also making more money.
Okay, great. That's fantastic. So you will give that to me and you can send it to me in Messenger and I'll make sure it goes on to, into the comments. So everybody who listens to this will be able to jump in and, find you. And are there any parting words you want to leave with?
My parting words would be get started today. No matter where you are, get started today. Don't think about the past, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, but get started today and you can change your life financially. And it doesn't take forever. You can change your life drastically in just a few months. So that's what I would recommend. It's holiday time. I know we want to have a lot of fun, but have fun and give your family the gift that keeps on giving.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Darlene. I so appreciate you coming on and sharing with my audience all of your great wisdom. And I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving, you and your family. And I will talk to you real soon.
All right. Thank you, Darlie. And thank you for the invite. And I really appreciate it. And you have a happy Thanksgiving. And all of our audience have a
Yes,
happy Thanksgiving as well.
absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.